So let's expand that story for a bit, because all of these developments that seems to have taken late last evening and overnight, as far as when it comes to Afghanistan, which has now begun carrying out strikes against Pakistan in response to the recent Pakistani airstrikes that was carried out in the Afghan territory. Clashes that has now intensified along the Durand line between Afghanistan and Pakistani forces, which Afghanistan does not recognize, with Afghan security sources now claiming that their forces have captured several Pakistani positions as well. At least 7 of them that they believe that they have seized, where Afghan authorities say that the strikes are in retaliation to the recent Pakistani airstrikes, marking a sharp escalation in the border tensions between the two neighbors. Pakistani military has killed 70 in its operations. As far as when it comes to the developments is concerned, Taliban has now been claiming that at least 55 of Pakistani soldiers have been killed, and Kabul says that several, at least 19 of those Pakistani posts have been seized. Now, 2 bases, 19 Pakistani posts have been captured, and several of the fighters who have been killed, as Taliban has now been alleging that there seems to be civilian injuries in the Pakistani strikes. The Ministry of the National Defense of Afghanistan says that 55 Pakistani soldiers were killed in retaliatory operations that was carried out along the Durand line, and this border that stretches over 2,600 kilometers between the two countries, known as Durand Line, has never been officially recognized by Afghanistan. But in a press release, the ministry says that the action was launched around 8 p.m. on the 9th of Ramadan, corresponding to the 26th of February, and in response to what it described as a violation of Afghan territory by Pakistani military forces days earlier. Let's connect with Srinjoy on this. Srinjoy, a shaky truce, when it comes to mediation of other countries. However, it seems that the truce on the ceasefire did not last long. It was Pakistan which had actually provoked Afghanistan first.
Yes, when you bomb another country's capital city, then it's very serious business. And that's exactly what the Pakistani Air Force did. They bombed the Afghans. It's one thing to have border clashes. It's quite another to bomb another country's capital city. So that's something that the PF did, presumably because it probably felt, the Pakistanis, that fighting on the Afghans on the ground, the Taliban Afghans, would lead to serious casualties. And that's exactly what has happened. But when you bomb a country's capital, it's serious intent. And now the Afghans have hit back. As you rightly said, they don't recognize the Durand line in any case. And all of this is because of the Tehreek-e-Taliban to a large extent. The TTP has been hitting targets in Pakistan. The Pakistanis allege that the TTP has bases in Afghanistan. The Afghans deny it. So it's a huge mess on the Durand line. Now, both sides have made claims, and of course, this is the fog of war. You don't know which one is right or which one is accurate to any extent. But the whole point is, how does this end? Yes, the international community will have to be involved. President Donald Trump has already claimed that he has ended many wars. Well, this could add to his list. Then the Qataris have been very good.
Yes, because that that was actually, brought about by Qatar. The mediation and the talks that had actually led to this ceasefire there. However, it was quite shaky as far as the conflict that is now resumed on the border areas there. But internally as well, Pakistan has been facing a lot of trouble because tensions that have flared up across the border. Pakistan seems to have launched this operation, which it calls as Ghazab Lil Haq. Now, this operation, which Islamabad has now deemed that over 130 Taliban fighters have been killed, airstrikes that have been reported in Kabul and Kandahar, where Pakistan seems to be targeting the border areas, and this seems to be a major escalation in the border conflict. Let's connect with Rishabh on this development. Rishabh, because both sides, unverified reports, both sides have been claiming that there has been massive damage that has been incurred both on ground and especially when it comes to casualty figure as well. But both have also been denying the damages. If you can tell us and help us understand the Pakistan point of view, because they seem to be carrying out counter-retaliatory strikes on Afghanistan.
Well, it is very unique that a fight against terror, as claimed by Pakistan, has now converted into a full-fledged open war between between Pakistan and Afghanistan on Durand line. And the way Khwaja Asif, the defense minister, suggests that they believe Afghanistan. The irony in the statement that Afghanistan has become the hub of the terror outfits backed by India, quote unquote, backed by India, proxies of India. This operation has now started bombing Kabul, Kandahar, and other cities of Afghanistan as well. While the claims and counterclaims continue, the narrative building continues. The actual situation on Durand line remains volatile. Since last 12 hours, there have been exchange of fire on Durand line, especially in the province of Khost, Kandahar, and if we talk about Pakistan side, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and the way guerrilla tactics is being employed by the Afghan forces. Afghan forces say that they have captured at least 15 military posts of Pakistan, killing at least 50 of the Pakistan regular soldiers. But Pakistan is denying any such casualty. On the
well, what a sad excuse as far as when it comes to Pakistan is concerned. It seems to be unnecessarily involving India as a cover-up of its own failures, militarily as well, and for domestic issues that it continues to face when it comes to the protests that has been taking place either in Balochistan, even in Sindh, and even in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Now it seems to be a poor attempt when it comes to pointing out to Afghanistan as an Indian colony, because ratted Pakistan seems to be now resorting to blatant lies and has now been unnecessarily dragging India when it comes to its conflict with Afghanistan. Imagine a terror state like Pakistan is claiming that it is a victim of terror. It seems to be ranting, alleging India's role in the tensions, and this seems to be a bizarre mention by a Pakistani mantri saying that the Afghanistan conflict is actually sponsored by India. Let's Wing Commander Praful Bakshi is connected with us. Sir, a terror state like Pakistan is now crying foul, saying that it is actually a victim of terror, and terror that they believe that it is India-sponsored Afghanistan terror. Why is India's name being taken or being dragged unnecessarily by Pakistan?
You see, Pakistan went in for a surprise when Afghanistan Taliban leadership and visited India, and they were welcomed by the Muslim Brotherhood, the teaching thoughts of India, all the Muslim the leadership and clergy welcomed Afghanistan leadership, and that is what irked Pakistan. Pakistan, Taliban also is against Pakistan. Afghanistan, Taliban is also against Pakistan. And Pakistan army is facing the wrath of both. And that is why they automatically think that is India-sponsored. And anything which is happening in Afghanistan, and if they are finding it, if they are facing reverses, they say that India is helping them. So they'll continue doing this. In fact, that was a very good move on part of India to have befriended, and Afghanistan has been a very old friend of India, and India has been helping Afghanistan in various projects. So it's automatically we are building up our relationship with Afghanistan, but that makes Pakistan, a very, very, worried on this issue. So they will continue doing it. Previously they've done it. They will do it. And if there's a next attack with Afghanistan and they face reverses of anything, both sides of Durand line, the tribals and the Taliban people and Pashtun, they are all against the Pakistan Army's atrocities.
Absolutely, because the TTP, it has been blaming there as well the internal violence and the unrest that seems to be escalating in Balochistan, in Sindh, in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Pakistan seems to be making a sad excuse for a cover-up of its own failures. Bakshi sir, thank you very much for joining in with your point of view. Well, help us understand, Shinjoy, when it comes to the domestic troubles that Pakistan has been facing, clearly unable when it comes to overcoming them and containing them, because now it seems to be making a sorry excuse of dragging India's name unnecessarily.
Yes, India is not involved. Very clearly, India, in fact, does not have full diplomatic relations with the Taliban even now. So that must be taken into account. Does India have an ambassador in Kabul? The answer is no. So India has helped the Afghans because the Afghan people had problems. So India sent a lot of grain, India sent a lot of medicines, and more recently, Afghan Taliban leaders have been in India. But the point being made here is by Pakistan is completely incorrect because India doesn't even have serious ties with Afghanistan. And the Afghans have benefited enormously when the Americans departed because the Americans left a lot of their weapons behind. And all those weapons are with the Taliban army and they are being used. Ashraf Ghani fled, if you remember, and the Taliban took over. When that happened, when Ghani fled and the Taliban took over, then again the Afghan National Army's weapons went to the Taliban. So the Taliban is not short of weapons, it's not short of training, it's not short of awareness of the locations in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Northwest Frontier Province. They know where their targets are, they know how to hit, they know how to fight, and very clearly the Pakistanis realize that, which is why they have resorted to airstrikes. Now the airstrikes have been on Kabul, they have been on Kandahar and places like that. So it is entirely possible that if these cities have been hit, then the Afghans will be very upset and they will say, okay, the Pakistanis have an air force, we have soldiers on the ground, as does Pakistan, of course.
But this is happening over the month of Ramadan. Mr. Arasan Singh is also connected with us. Mr. Singh, good morning. Islamabad has been accusing Afghanistan of failing to act against militant groups to carry out attacks in Pakistan, which the Taliban government has denied. And Pakistan now seems to be blaming India as far as labeling Afghanistan to be as India's proxy, sir. How ridiculous is this?
No. Did India create Taliban? Taliban was created very much by Pakistan. It was created. Later on, they found safe havens here, all through the American presence of the American military there, and they nurtured them. So, they are not India's creation. You have rightly said it is ridiculous. The second thing is that that about this month of Ramzan, there is nothing. I have been following it very closely. All conflicts involving Islamic countries, there is no sanctity for them as far as Ramzan is concerned. In fact, there is one school of thought, Islamic thought, which says that operations during this period has a special blessings from the Almighty, from Allah. So that has never deterred actually anywhere in the world, in the Islamic world. But it's Pakistan. I know will never introspect. If they had the ability or capability to introspect, they wouldn't have played this Indian card. I mean, what equations we have with Afghanistan, except for humanitarian causes and humanitarian reasons and humanitarian reach out. We have helped Pakistan during earthquake, during various kind of natural disasters. That's all. But yes, somewhere the Taliban also realizes that India is is much more genuine, or rather genuine as compared to Pakistan, and that is why tell me one thing: why should Pakistan come in between trade between India and Afghanistan?
Yes, sir.
You don't lend your territory. So, why should
sorry state of affairs in a sad excuse to cover up their own failures, because internally as well, Pakistan has been facing a lot of unrest, isn't it, Mr. Arasan Singh? Whether be it in POK, in Balochistan, in Sindh, they are up in arms and, counting down to the failures of that failed field marshal, Asim Munir. who seems to be responsible for all of this.
Yes, see, I mean, what has happened, ma'am, all the institutions have been destroyed. And Pakistan is is surviving on a single pillar called the Pakistan military. And if this pillar was to be destroyed, I'm telling you, or it's already fraying. It's already fraying. So the collapse is imminent. In fact, if you ask me, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
In fact, Pakistan has actually, psychologically collapsed.
Yes, sir.
Whatever physical shape that Pakistan remains in is because of the Pakistan military. And well, why should have Taliban any love for this military regime in Pakistan?
Yes.
Whom does Taliban do business with?
Well, because that seems to be as far as the excuse on part of both of the neighbors there as far as Pakistan is concerned, because it has launched this operation and it is now declaring an open war against Afghanistan. Thank you very much, Mr. Arasan Singh, sir, for your point of view. Because now, as far as the counter-retaliatory strikes is now concerned, Pakistan has now done that, and that too in the heart of Afghanistan. It has now escalated where explosions have now rocked Kabul. After cross-border strikes, Pakistan has now hit targets deep inside Afghanistan, where cities like Kabul and Kandahar have been also targeted. And these airstrikes seems to have been carried out as a retaliation on part of Pakistan as well. Let me connect to Major General Sudhakar ji is with us. Sir, good morning. How do you believe the situation seems to be escalating to such a level that Pakistan seems to be carrying out strikes in the heart of Afghanistan, sir?
Yeah, morning. Morning. If
Yes,
I'm
sir.
audible, am
Yes,
I
sir.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for taking me for the phone up. All I would say that it has got a potential to flare up, and so much so that both the countries, more than Afghanistan, Pakistan will start burning from all sides, because Afghanistan historically is known as a country which is a graveyard of empire. Okay, nobody has ever, anyone who has ever tried to teach the Pashtuns or Afghans a lesson has come back alive or safe and sound. So Pakistan is venturing into a very deadly kind of game, putting its finger in the fire, and it is better that if they exercise restraint. Having said that, just allow me to dilate a couple of issues. First and foremost thing, it is a flare-up which started after the peace process has started. Ceasefire came into effect in the month of October 2025.
Right, sir.
It is Pakistan which actually went across the border, carried out aerial violation. Aerial violation is taken, as per the military science, it is taken as a serious breach of border, and it is a first signature of open conflict.
Right, sir.
When a country neighbor is
Yes.
actually unleashing an open conflict,
Yes,
the victim
Well,
or the
because Pakistan has declared an open war, and Islamabad now seems to be accusing Afghanistan of failing to act against militant groups that carry out attacks in Pakistan, which the Taliban government there in Afghanistan has consistently denied. Thank you very much, sir, for your point of view, and Shinjoy to you as well. We just have to head into a short break, but this seems to be the border escalation between Pakistan and Afghanistan that is now being reported in the latest news update. Back after a short break.